Hey, how you doing? I've already done helicopters and airplanes versus UFOs, so I thought I'd do satellites versus UFOs here, right? This photograph here is from a couple of years ago, and it's 8 seconds at 300 millimeters, and it's not a satellite. Whatever it is this right here. There are two of these. There's one on the bottom, one on the top. Now, apparently, as they oppose each other, they're able to generate some kind of a energy between the two of them. I don't know if that's, geez, you can only speculate as to what that is or how it's being done. But this right here, okay, will reappear throughout these images. I don't know what they are, but they're pretty consistent. This here is the International Space Station, and that's 1 second. The thing moves along pretty good. So you take a photograph of it, all you get is white light because it's reflecting off the sun on the surface of the station there. So there's not any color variations really, unless you use a telescope, which I don't have to photograph that thing with. You're not going to get anything other than a white streak like that, and that's a color photograph. So we need to use this as a baseline for the rest of these images that we're looking at here, like this object right here. This clearly is not a satellite. This is 1 second at 268 millimeters from 2 years ago. And again, you can see this disc with a little dome on the top of it. As it moves along, it changes color and intensity somehow. I don't know what these things are, but they're not satellites. They look like it on infrared, I'll give you that. But that's why you want to look at them a little bit closer, at least I do anyway. Now this right here is kind of interesting. This particular picture here is 1 second at 107 millimeters. Zoom in. There's two objects here going two different directions, one on the right and one on the left. We'll zoom in on them here a little bit. Now, satellites don't do that. And there's a variety of color there. And, first thing somebody's going to say is you bumped the camera, obviously. Except for you look at the other half of the photograph here and you see an object going an entirely different direction and then giving off a massive amount of light there at the top. So it can't be the fact that the camera got moved while that was being taken there. Now this is for some of you that don't watch the videos all the way through. It's kind of boring watching something like this fly along, but that's why I do it, because there's other stuff going on out here. And this, I don't think, was a satellite, and obviously the other one wasn't. They don't greet each other as they're flying by. So another thing they don't do is spiral like this. I understand that they rotate on an axis, okay, and they're moving along, so that would give you this elongated DNA effect here, possibly. But again, here's that object with a disc on the bottom and a little dome on the top here. And I think this thing is what's spinning around like that. And that color, okay, that's being given off right there is not satellite behavior. You know what I'm saying? Again, referring back to the space shuttle there at the beginning. I mean, not the space shuttle, but the space station. They just don't put off a variety of colors like this does. You notice at the top there, you see that spindle again on top of that disc, and it's pulsing. These are what look like satellites on the infrared, and this is why I take photographs of them, because oftentimes they turn out to exactly not be satellites. And the satellites don't pulse like these things here do. I mean, they don't all pulse, okay, don't get me wrong. But these ones that I'm showing you here, there's 2 or 3 videos of these things going along here that I want to show you. And they're clearly not satellites. That's all I'm saying. I don't claim to know what they are, but if a satellite is going to pulse, it's going to do it on a very specific rhythmic order or pattern because it's spinning, and once that spinning is set in motion, it's set. You know, if it's in outer space, it's just going to keep rotating at that particular RPM. So these things that I've got here that I'm showing you in this video pulsate at a variety of, you know, intervals here. There's nothing systematic about them, so I just have to assume that they're not satellites. So I mean, I've had, you know, viewers that I've had for a while that, of course, say, "Well, that looks like a satellite to me," and that's understandable. You know, I mean, clearly it looks just like a light in the sky flying along. So, you know, first thing you would assume is, of course, it's probably a satellite. So that's understandable. But the other day, I had somebody was talking to online, and they're, "Oh yeah, I'll take a look at some of your videos," and so they subscribe to the channel for about a nanosecond, and then they make a comment, "Oh, that looks like satellites," and they unsubscribed that fast without doing any further, you know, viewing of uh, any of the videos. So I mean, if people already have their mind made up what they're seeing before they look at it, what can I say? Anyway, this right here, let me see my old person notes again. These are from like a couple years ago, a lot of these photographs here, so I had to try and see the dates on them. I can't see this one right now. But anyway, it's probably from 2019. And again, you can see that's not giving off a reflection of the sun on the surface of whatever it is. It is putting out different levels of energy as it goes along. And this is not enhanced either. Those are the colors of whatever it is that I photographed flying along up there while I was doing an infrared. I mean, it's a single light, and that's what throws people off, I think, when they're looking at the videos. If it's a single light and it's at high altitude, it's got to be a satellite. And I just don't think a lot of them are. I mean, I'm aware of the Starlink and all that kind of stuff, and if you assume too quickly, you kind of miss what they actually are. That's why I take photographs of them, because you just, other than the pulsing right here, there's no reason to believe actually that that is not satellite. I mean, it's just a distant light in the sky. So I just want to show you some of these, how they pulse like this and then flash. You see that there? And then bright glow. That's not a satellite, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't mean to be dogmatic about this stuff, but I'm just kind of defending my position because I'm trying to show people some objects up there that are flying around that I just don't know what they are. So I'm just trying to share that with other people. I don't mean to overrule anyone else's opinions at all, but the point I'm trying to make here is I'm not trying to show you things that are, you know, just hokey satellites or airplanes or, you know, squint videos or something where it sort of looks like something else it ain't. Again, here is a photograph of one of these things. You see the disc with a little dome on the top of it. You can see it all through here, and it's simply changing its intensity somehow or another and producing different colors. So it, in my opinion, can't be a satellite. Some of these I really have a hard time filming because they go straight over the top of me sometimes. And I've had several neck injuries in my life. That poor thing's pretty ruined. And it makes it really difficult to look straight up like that, you know what I'm saying? So it gets a little shaky sometimes. Darn it. There it is. So you can see here I don't have the infrared on. That's what makes it really dark in the background like that and grainy. Oftentimes I'll click through the different settings on this as I'm out there filming, trying to detect things that are out there by changing the infrared settings. It's got several of them on there. Now down bottom right, you see that one going across there? That could be a satellite. Ain't that something? So if this is in the Earth's shadow, you're not going to be able to see it at all because the sun's not reflecting off of it. So it has to be self-illuminating, producing its own light. So anyway, you know, you get photographs like this, and that's clearly, in my opinion, not an airplane, not a satellite. It's an object flying along and possibly dividing into two different sections and then coming back together again in a flash that you see in those videos. Now, a lot of people are much, much better at talking about UFOs than I am, of course, and a lot of people like to just sit around and listen about UFOs. But I want to show you something here that a lot of people have tried to explain, and they're really good at it, but I want to show you an actual photograph of what it is that they're talking about. This here is a singular object. Obviously, there's no wingtip to wingtip impinged lights or a belly light or a fuselage light on the top. This is a single object traveling along, pulsing, producing different colors as it goes. You can see the little spindle guy right there again. Here it goes out, it pulses again, and here's what I'm talking about. A lot of times you hear people talking about, I saw the object here, and then it appeared over here, and then it appeared back over here. Well, this is a photograph of what it is that they're talking about. This is a single object. It's traveling along, powers down, and jumps right to here and illuminates itself and comes back down here and keeps going. So there's a photograph of that particular description of what people see. And it, you know, I mean, what can I say? I got some other videos to show you. I can't believe some of the stuff that's been flying around out here. I've seen that living ship 3 times now. And I'll show that to you as soon as I can get that video done. So take care out there no matter what you're doing. Thanks for stopping by and having a look. I appreciate it. Talk to you again later, I hope.